is one of the most powerful fat loss tools that we have because sleep plays a key role in several hormones that determine if we are burning fat or storing fat. So sleep is an interesting thing to talk about when it comes to fat loss because often people don't feel like they have that much control over their quantity or quality of sleep that they get. However, they do feel like they have all the control over what they eat and how they move. So today we are going to talk about why and how sleep is so important for fat loss and how you can actually gain control over the quality and quantity of sleep you get. Studies have repeatedly found that people who are chronically sleep deprived are at higher risk for either being or becoming obese. This is because sleep has a direct effect on hormonal and metabolic processes that actually keep our metabolism balanced. In fact, more and more research is actually showing that even after just a few nights of poor sleep, our insulin levels and our glucose metabolism are affected. Even after just a few nights of bad sleep, we can have increased fasting glucose levels and decreased insulin sensitivity. This means that your cells are less responsive to insulin. So for the same amount of glucose, you're gonna have to crank out more insulin just to process it. And this will have a direct effect on your weight. So one study found that people put on like a mild calorie deficit diet, and one group was getting 5.5 hours of sleep, and the other group was getting about 8.5 hours of sleep a night. The group that was getting 5.5 hours of sleep a night actually lost more lean tissue during that diet than those getting 8.5 hours of sleep a night, with about the same amount of weight loss. One reason for this is increased ghrelin levels. Now, ghrelin is a hormone that makes you feel hungry, but it also tells your body to hold on to stored fat. And the reason is when ghrelin is released, our body doesn't think it has enough energy, or it's fearful that we're using too much of it. So it holds onto the fat that you have and makes you hungry so that you give it more. Even mild sleep deprivation can trigger a chronic stress response, which increases our cortisol levels. Our cortisol is our stress hormone, which is so important for our health, but it very easily can go sideways. And when that happens, we store lots of extra fat, especially on our bellies. And it makes it extremely difficult to let fat go. And if all of that isn't enough to make you go take a nap, the lack of sleep actually causes appetite and satiety dysregulation. This again is that increase in that hormone ghrelin, which is going to cause us to crave foods that are more energy dense than they are nutrient dense, which gives us an excess in our energy balance, meaning we have way more energy available than we are going to use. So we are going to store all that extra energy. So your eating habits are monitored by complex hormonal interactions. And these hormones, they work in conjunction with your metabolism to moderate your appetite, your calorie consumption, and your cravings. And when we don't get enough sleep, these hormonal processes, they get interrupted, and that leaves us with the inability to lose weight or wondering why we've been gaining weight even though we are tightly monitoring what we eat and how we move. So now we've got 3 ways to help improve this and set a brand new cycle so that it is easy for you to get a good sleep and get that good quality sleep while you're sleeping. And the first one is to stick to a consistent routine. Go to bed at the same time each night and wake up at the same time each morning. This helps set your circadian rhythms, and your circadian rhythms kind of biologically are your flow through your day. And when these are all here and there and everywhere and the rhythm is all out of whack, our whole body and our system is out of whack. And circadian rhythms are a beautiful thing, and there's a lot to work with here with this, but that is for a totally different video. But in the meantime, the most important of the two is that you're getting up at the same time every day, because when you get up at the same time every day, preferably as the sun is coming up, this helps set that rhythm in motion for the day, and it will automatically trigger hormones like melatonin at night because we are up with the sun and we were able to produce serotonin, which is the hormone that is the precursor to the hormone melatonin that helps us fall asleep at night. So when we get up in the morning at the same time every day, we go to bed at night at the same time every day, automatically we are able to produce these hormones without even thinking about it. So probably the most important thing that you can do is put your foot down Go to bed at the same time every single day and get up when the alarm goes off. Number 2 is to be cautious of what we are eating in the evenings. We don't want to eat or drink anything except water once it gets to be about an hour and a half to 2 hours before bed. Now, because of our circadian rhythms, most of our fat burning is actually done at night while we sleep. So if we have a meal or a snack right before we go to bed, or we get up in the middle of the night and just come downstairs to grab a little something and then go back up to bed, we have an insulin response from this meal or this snack. Melatonin, our hormone that is released at night and while we are sleeping, it suppresses insulin responses, which sounds like a good thing, but at this time it is not, because it's actually going to make it take longer for that insulin to process through your body. Insulin stops your body from being able to burn fat. And the last thing we want to do when we are burning the most fat throughout a 24-hour period is blunt that with an extended insulin response. And things like caffeine and alcohol and spicy foods, these can all affect the quality of your sleep. While caffeine, even if you can go to sleep after you have had a bunch of it or even a little bit of it, it will disrupt the quality of your sleep once you're asleep. Same with alcohol. It may seem like it's way easier to go to sleep, but that quality of sleep is not there. With both the alcohol and that caffeine, you miss out on the deep sleep, the part of sleep that is super restorative. And spicy food can give you all kinds of indigestion and spike up your adrenal glands. And so we just want to stay away from these 3 types of foods much past it. And number 3 is set a nighttime routine and be rigid about this. This is a non-negotiable. This will literally help you transition from awake to asleep so fast it will change the way you sleep at night. I promise you. About an hour or more before bed, shut off the TV, shut off your phone, your tablet, and close your laptop. Don't even say, but I have on blue blockers. Shut them all down. All of these things, anything with those blue lights, tells your body it's still daytime. So your body is not transitioning from day to night. It is almost impossible to get into bed and fall right to sleep and get quality sleep. If you are so stressed and tired and overworked and overdone for the day, yes, you'll probably crash when you get there, but you're going to be awake in a few hours because your body hasn't gotten a chance to go through the natural cycles. And in that hour or hour and a half before bed, and it is quiet time in the house, spend time with your family, be in natural dim light, meditate, read, journal, all the things that actually build a really great life. I promise you put these things into place, it's going to change the way you sleep. It is going to change the way that your body burns fat. It's going to change your circadian rhythm, something that you won't notice until you go, whoa, I actually feel really good. And that's when you know we've done a really good job.